Okay, we're going to talk about mindset challenges. Mindset challenges. Okay, mindset challenges and 10xing yourself. So, the first thing I want to talk about is you need to, of course, believe that you can do this. Now, I just want to let you know that this is a skill that can be learned. And a lot of people think that you have to be born charismatic on camera or the screen, that you have to be born with this personality that is big and, like stage worthy or something like that. But this is truly a skill that can be learned. I mean, as you know, or I told you, I am a shy introvert, and I was not born able to be in front of the camera. I mean, really, I was so shy in school that I couldn't even stand in front of the classroom to give a book report or anything. I could barely even raise my hand in school just to, answer a question or ask a question. That's how shy I was. So this is a skill that can be learned, is what I want to underscore here. Another thing so for you to have this belief that you can do this, that's the first hurdle. You can do this. And just put that little bit of possibility that what you're learning here is going to help you to do this, and that feeling scared, weird stuff that goes through your body where your tongue gets dry and you can't breathe and your throat gets all hoarse, that will go away. Just have that possible belief that that is true, okay? If you don't already believe that. Okay, so that's one mindset thing. Now, another thing is people have this worry about putting themselves out there. I know I did. I know even when I just was going to launch my website, I was like holding back, and I'm like, what are people going to think? And suddenly people might criticize me or make comments that are terrible. But, if you don't put yourself out there, you cannot be a success. And the most successful people, they put themselves out there when they're not truly even ready yet, when they don't have everything fully together, where they haven't studied every single facet of what they're doing. But they put themselves out there with that belief that they have a little bit that they can put out there, and as they go, they can get better and better and learn. And so this is what I'm asking you to do, is to have this mindset that you can do this. You can put yourself out there, and you may have that belief that you'll be criticized or judged, and maybe that's true. But we'll talk about that in a minute, why you will drop that fear of that criticism, judgment, and we'll get back to that. But then there's also this thing about putting yourself out there that people have a fear of the unknown. What will happen? I don't know. That's scarier than the criticism and judgment, actually, for a lot of people. To not know. That unknown feeling of, I don't know what will happen, almost feels like death. Like, because we don't really know what happens in death, I don't want to get too philosophical here about death, but because we don't really know what happens in death, it almost has that same feeling of putting ourselves out there, like, what if? And then what? And it could be something terrible, so we dread it, right? There's some of that in us. Okay, so that's another mindset challenge, that if you are afraid of the unknown, the only way to know is to do it. The only way to know is to try it and put yourself out there in a way where you are very honest. Because if you put yourself out there without being honest, you're not really putting yourself out there, and that ultimately can fail because people don't really truly see you. And so that's my next thing, is we really need to be truly seen. And so for somebody to connect with us, I mean, whether that's somebody we love, like we're in a dating situation, and it's like, if we don't show them who we are, then they're not going to really love who I am. They're going to love this person that I put on, like I'm perfect and I love the things that you love and I'm pretending to love them because I think you like those things. Well, that's pretending. And so if we put on this persona, if we pretend to be something else, people aren't connecting with who we truly are. So that's the thing. You need to be truly seen, and that's scary to so many people because the camera doesn't filter. The camera shows what you're thinking, your body language, your voice, what you're feeling. And if you're being inauthentic, there's this layer that's kind of like uncomfortable that people can feel. And then they don't trust you. And then they don't buy your stuff or want to do business with you because there's something they're hiding. That's what they feel. So really, being truly seen is really important. But more important is your mindset of getting over the fact that people will truly see you. And that is something that I'll refer to later on about 10xing yourself. And that will go away once you hear about what that means. Okay, so the next point is a lot of people are worried about the imposter syndrome. So we are an expert, or we say we are, or we actually are an expert. And once we think if we put ourselves out there and put our stuff out there, then someone is going to discover that maybe we're not as good as we say, or maybe your stuff is okay, but not as good as this other person, and that other person may be judging or criticizing, or you might think, maybe I don't really know that much about what I'm doing because if I put myself out there, that means that people will actually check it out. Well, the thing is that we know what we know, and we know enough, because we know more than the person who is 2 steps behind where we are, right? So we're not ever an imposter unless you're truly saying, I know something that you have no clue about, okay? And if you're doing that, that's silly, and you're not going to do that because you're not silly. So this imposter syndrome that we have, you can drop that because you actually do know your stuff. You have researched and studied enough that somebody 2 steps back will be able to learn from you. And that is real. That's value. So don't worry about that. Okay, another thing is some people think that they have to be a certain way on camera. They have to be a broadcaster. They have to have a deep voice. And they have to be professional. No, that's kind of silly, isn't it? That's, of course, being a little more dramatic. But a lot of people are worried that being who they are is not good enough, and that people won't believe in just an ordinary person, in somebody that's just regular. Well, people really want regular these days. They don't necessarily want some false personality that seems very slick, that has practice, that doesn't have that human element that you have. Now, that human element can connect with the human on the other side of that lens. And being human, being just imperfect, maybe even stumbling over your words here and there, or making a little mistake in what you're saying, and then going, oh, but what I mean was, is fine. And so you don't have to worry about being a certain way, having to be this big personality, this big persona, or, I am a small person. I'm, I think kind of like not a big personality. I think of myself as shy, so, other people might argue that. But anyway, you really just need to be you. That's really truly it. And you need to be truly seen as truly you for that connection to happen. Okay, now here is something that ties all that together and takes it one step further. So we all want to create raving fans or super loyal customers or people that just love us, right? We want to be loved. We want them to love us, our products, our services, everything we do, right? So here's the thing. People say, and I'm going to talk about 10xing yourself. Now, 10xing, people usually say, let's blow this business up. I can 10x your business by blah, 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 right? Well, I'm taking this to a, personal, I don't know what you call it, self-development kind of thing, where I call it 10xing yourself, because when you blow yourself up, be so you that you are seen, you're truly seen. Be so you that you create a persona of yourself, which is not untrue, but it's dramatizing and making bigger the parts of you that are so you. The parts of you that are like idiosyncratic. Maybe you are somebody who twists your mustache or something. Or maybe you're, I don't know, I'm just making this up as I go on. Maybe you're somebody who like flips your hair all the time. Or maybe you're, be so you that it is almost obnoxious. And I'll tell you why you want to do that. The thing is, people will hate you if you are so you. And those haters that you're repelling will leave and go away. You don't want those people anywhere near you. You don't want to do business with them. You don't want them in your sphere. And at the same time as those haters hate you and leave, being 10x of yourself brings those who love who you are, who love your idiosyncrasies, who love the way you speak, who love the way you gesture, who love the way you talk, who love your ideas, and all the things you're about will love you even more. They will say, yes, I can finally see who that person is. I love the way that he or she does that. I love their style of speech. I love that they're not perfect and they're so human. They're somebody that I resonate with. And the real thing is that we connect with people that are similar to us. We see something in them that reminds us of ourselves. And it's a form of self-love, but people don't really like to acknowledge that because self-love is like not okay in the American culture for some reason. But we resonate with people that we see a little bit of that reflection. And we can say, I love her. I love him. He's so cool. I just like that he does this thing. Because there's something that reminds us of us. So when you 10x yourself, you are going to repel people and you're going to draw people. You're going to have the haters hate and the lovers love. And they will come closer and be so loyal because they can finally truly see who you are. So that's what 10xing is about. And that is something that will... Okay, so we talked about putting yourself out there and the criticism and the judgment and the unknown. So now, when you put yourself out there so big, like you are just so you're not afraid of criticism and judgment anymore because you know you'll get it and you're expecting it. And you're like, haters, come on. I take you on and get out of here. Come closer and then get out, right? And so that criticism and judgment is actually good. And also, when you put yourself out there, when you're 10xing yourself, you are being deliberate. So it's actually not really the unknown anymore because you are making it happen. And so instead of just being like, I don't know what's going to happen, I'm free falling. Instead, you're like, I'm 10xing myself, I'm getting out there and I'm doing this. And, dare me not to, right? So there's that. And, of course, being truly seen. It's all about being truly seen. So when you're 10xing, you're bearing yourself times 10, right? And that is one of the key things. So the imposter syndrome. When you 10x yourself, you are daring people, really, to say, hate me. Discover what you don't like. see everything. And when you're so bold, you are in control of what you're putting out there. Not control like controlling, but you're like, no, look at me. I am truly everything that you see times 10. And you can dig deep. So the imposter syndrome goes away too, because you're saying, I'm wide open. Look. And then I'm going to hold a magnifying glass here so you can look even deeper. So that imposter syndrome doesn't exist because you're saying you're welcome to look as deep as you want. It's all there and more. So all of these things, and then the personality, you don't have to be like the broadcaster, that point. You being you create your own persona. You create your own whatever it is. Now, I heard that Beyonce, the musical artist, the singer, she has a persona, and she puts on her Sasha. She calls herself Sasha rather than Beyonce, to like get herself out there and be this bold woman who can strut around the stage and do all that stuff. And she, as Beyonce, is not that way. She's a shy introvert, probably just like me, and she's very inward, and so she can do that. But there is a part of Beyonce that is Sasha. So when we put on our 10x, when we 10x ourselves, we are creating a persona. If you want to name that persona like she did, Sasha, go ahead. I don't have a name for mine. I'm just more me than I am. I'm just me. So that is what will get people to know, like, and trust us even more. When we are 10xing, when we're showing them who we are, when we're voluntarily being vulnerable and showing them all of our imperfections, all of the things that are not exactly perfect, broadcaster, whatever, because we're human. And that's what they connect with. That's when the relationship is formed. So go ahead, 10x yourself. Feel bold in who you are. Blow it up.